Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Host and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So I'm going to talk again about this story that happened during one of the Mets broadcasts. Now the Mets, as I do this video, is one game left in the season. The Mets are currently tied, I believe, with the Reds. Because the Reds won on Saturday, I guess. So I'm recording this video, this game's still going on, I think. And the Mets won on Saturday. The Mets are in a bad situation. Even though they won, it's almost like a deja vu. I didn't do a video on the Baseball Hut because I'm like I want to put the cart before the horse. But this is going to be a very cold winter if the Mets don't make it. It's going to be a cold, nasty winter and off season for the New York Mets. But I'm going to talk about this thing again about Charlie Kirk. And since SNY, New York Mets, have ignored this, I cannot. And so many people have been writing to me, and so many people have been subscribing to the channel. I thought it would be good to do another video on this. Once again, I also would mention I do have a political channel called The Patriot Hut. I'll put the link in the description of this video, and you can subscribe. I would love to be able to make some money off that channel. I'd love to be able to get do something with that. So I had it for a while. And it seems like a little bit censorship is lifted a little bit off of YouTube. But I'm going to talk again about what that was said during this broadcast about Charlie Kirk. As you know, he was assassinated by a lone gunman again. I think the people that killed him are probably the same people that have been assassinating people in this country for a very long time. Very long time. But let me read this article. This is about the other person in the booth, the other guy in the booth that where this conversation took place. Talked a lot about Gary Cohen. I've not talked about his partner that night, Todd Zeile. This is from New Jersey, NJ.com. Ex-Mets star speaks up on Cubs player Charlie Kirk absence. It's unprecedented. Quote and quote. Let's see where this is going. The Chicago Cubs' decision to let third baseman Matt Shaw miss Sunday's game to attend the late Charlie Kirk and his Charlie Kirk's memorial has raised eyebrows across baseball. No, it hasn't. I've talked about it here. This hasn't raised anything. I'll give you a historical perspective, which I mentioned in the last video, and I'm going to bring it up again. During Shaw's at bat in the fourth inning on Wednesday against the Mets, Mets SNY announcers Gary Cohen and Todd Zeile shared their opinions regarding Shaw's absence. Quote, I don't want to talk about any of the politics of what Cohen said, but the thought of leaving your team in the middle of a race for any reason other than a family emergency really strikes me as weird. And that's where it comes from. I also said in the previous video that karma and setting the universe right should have been just a reason to apologize. Just a small apology would have been lasted 2 minutes. We would have moved on. I would have moved on. This is from Zeile. Quote, it's unusual. Zeile, the former Mets third baseman, well, he wasn't a Mets third baseman with the Mets. He was a Mets former first baseman, fouled. I think it's unprecedented, at least from my experience as a player. Now, the host is on X, and the host asked the AI on there, Grok, about another historical event, and this assassination of Charlie Kirk will be historical in nature. People are going to be talking about him for hundreds of years, and what happened to him. There's a lot of questions in the air about it, quite frankly. But I asked the AI, because I mentioned it in the video, did Bill Russell attend the funeral for Martin Luther King Jr., who was assassinated in April of 1968? And I wasn't sure 100%, but I asked the AI, Grok. And as you can see on the side here, Grok told me that he did attend it. And not only that, so that the great Will Chamberlain, and not only that, but they stopped playing games. and they were in the middle of their playoff run. Not a family situation, but they played. They did not play, and they went to the funeral. So, Zeal doesn't know what he's talking about, and Gary doesn't know what he's talking about. We continue on. Kirk, a conservative activist, was shot and killed September 10th at a Utah College event, and what Governor Spencer Cox called a political assassination carried out from a rooftop. Now, I would mention, the only person that had their freedom of speech ended that day was Charlie Kirk. And all the people complaining and writing, calling him all kinds of nasty things on here that are being blocked by YouTube, your freedom of speech was not curtailed. His was. Chicago did lose the game, Shaw missed. 1-0 to the Cincinnati Reds, which are now tied with the Mets. Ahead of Tuesday's game against the Mets, Shaw spoke with reporters for the first time regarding his absence. Charlie was someone I met at the apartments in Arizona where I lived, Shaw said via Josh Friedman of WCN Chicago. He's someone who was one of the biggest Cubs fans I ever met. And he texted me after every game. He was super supportive of us and was really faithful. So we connected on that front as well. Now, Shaw did not get to the majors until this year. So they became friends before that. And Shaw was a big prospect with the Cubs. Quote, his wife, Erica, texted me asking me if I would come to the funeral, and I felt it was something that was really important for me to do. Now, I mentioned in the previous video, funeral is part of the holy sacraments that you take as a Christian. So there is not only something holy about it, it's sacred. As a wedding is, communion, confirmation, baptism, marriage, all the same thing. And he's shown respect to his friend. This was not just some run-of-the-mill friend, okay? This was somebody that was extremely important to a lot of young men like him, because he was much younger than Charlie Kirk was, 8 years younger than Charlie, and he looked up to him. And they were friends, and they were neighbors. So this hit close to home. The day of the assassination, Matt Shaw was supposed to play, and he got scratched. Nobody knew why he got scratched. I guess he was probably devastated, like a lot of people were. The country's been in mourning since then. This has really changed the country, okay? And this is not something that happens every day. We've not seen a political assassination by the deep state since Robert Kennedy Sr. It's a long time. And the deep state did this. There's no doubt in my mind. They killed Kennedy, the Kennedys, they killed Dr. King. They tried to kill Reagan. They tried to kill Trump. They killed Lincoln. And of course, this is a situation that we have to take very seriously. And we can't come in here and say it's weird that a man wants to go to a funeral for, not only for a political icon, he's going to become a political icon and a civil rights icon, but also a friend. And to say it's unprecedented, you don't know what you're talking about, Todd. You're a Hollywood guy after you left baseball for a long time. You're a Hollywood guy. That tells you where he's coming from as well. But, Gary should apologize. The thing is more about Gary. Gary should apologize. What Zeal says is just ignorant. He doesn't know the history of his own country. He knows about pretend after he left, Major League Baseball when he retired. He was a good player when he played, but, Zeal, and he's good when he does the analyzing, and he's good in the studio. He's really good, but very ignorant. And the history to what's going on. Unprecedented that a player or an athlete would go to a funeral for somebody, a civil rights leader. It's very strange. But you let me know what you think about this. I would mention also, again, I have a channel called Patriot Hut. I will do more content on there. It's just that once the baseball season is completely over, especially if the Mets don't win on Sunday, I will be putting a lot of work into that, a lot of work into this channel, and we're going to burn it all down with the Mets. The Mets have no idea what's in store for them. They have no idea what's in store for them if they lose this thing. I'll just give you a little preview. I'm not Frank Fleming. I'm not Joe Benigno. I'm not any of these clowns that constantly saying the sky is falling. I'm a nice Met fan. I want to see the Mets win. And I've done this before. I've burned it down a couple of times, but it won't be anything like this. Trust me. But if you like this kind of content, again, go subscribe to the Patriot Hut, and I'll have more stuff on there. So thank you for watching. Have a good day. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you later.